Tonight on The Real Goboza, we chat with all-rounder Lorna Maseko. Then we find out how she danced her way from ballet to top billing, and we see how the ladies swing a mullet at the pink polo. Happy New Year and welcome to The Real Goboza. I am your host, Miss Sinazo. You can now cross off your list or your first resolution of not missing any episodes of The Home of Celebrities this new year. To get you off to a great start, we have an in-depth look at the life of South Africa's first black ballet dancer, a very good TV presenter, I must say, and a shrewd businesswoman. And yes, all of those titles belong to the same person. Here to share her story on the seats of superstars, RGB welcomes Lorna Maseko. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, thank you. Have a seat.
I'm loving this beautiful set.
Isn't it just stunning?
It is gorgeous.
We wanted to go Hollywood for this.
This is beyond Hollywood, honey. You have tapped into every market. This is amazing.
Thank you so much for coming to join me. Growing up in Alex.
Yes.
And somehow finding yourself as a ballet dancer. How did that come about?
I started ballet at the age of 9 at a primary school called Orange Grove Primary. And I had a choice between karate and ballet. And I was like, well, I'm not trying to get my face beat. Okay. So let's just be pretty ballet dancers in tutus and all that pretty stuff. Sad part is that ballet actually destroys your toes, which I will not show to you today.
I have, but it looks so pretty when you guys
It does.
What do you call that turning?
Pirouette.
I'm going to take a little peek.
At what?
Do you wear sandals?
Oh gosh, my toes.
Because you mentioned the toe story, and now you've got me curious. And
no, thanks. We're not doing that. I've lifted leg here before. I'm not doing it again.
Okay, wait.
17.
If you were to describe your toes for someone like me who's not going to see them,
not bad.
what would you say?
They're okay.
Okay, I can't see. Let me see if I can. That's all right.
They're okay. They've had better days. You know what I mean? They've had better days, but they're okay.
They
okay.
obviously did. Okay, but you were one of the first, or you were the first black ballet dancer at the South African Ballet Theatre.
Yes, I was. And what basically that means is I was the first black ballet dancer to ever do a lead role, so a principal role. So I did Don Q, I did Nutcracker, and the like. So I don't think there's still been a South African ballet dancer to this day. South African, so I'm not going to say black, I'm going to say South African black dancer who's done a lead role in a professional ballet company. Well, I don't know of any.
Okay, this doesn't sound good, you know, for our transformation objectives.
In terms of, I mean, there are black ballet dancers that do principal, they do soloist roles, but there hasn't been one that has done a lead role from beginning to end. So they were Donkey, they were the lead person from the first act to the third act. There hasn't been that.
Was it a lot of pressure, though, being that first black lead? Was it kind of like, don't mess it up, don't mess it up, don't mess it up?
I think at that point, I just knew that this is where I belonged and this is what I'm supposed to do. So it was kind of like owning my throne. It was about just kind of being in that presence and being in that space and being proud of being in that space, you know?
Okay, so I've heard a rumor that ballerinas, like a lot of ladies that have to stay in a certain shape physically, do sometimes suffer from eating disorders.
Sadly, they do. But, I mean, I remember just always having it was like my favorite meal was a rice cake with tuna and a dollop of mayonnaise.
How is
and
rice cake a meal? It's not even a thing.
I know it's not, but
it's
when
cardboard.
You're dancing and you have a whole lot of skinny girls that are not the same color as your skin because they don't grow or their bodies aren't the same as yours, you better start eating rice cakes and you better start liking rice cakes.
So did your physical appearance actually become an issue at any point?
It wasn't to anybody else but to me, because I didn't want to be put in a position where I was a ballet dancer because I was black. I wanted to be there because I was genuinely very good, which I was. That's so vain, but I like it.
I've seen you on So You Think You Can Dance. You actually are.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was pretty good. You know, sometimes you just need to call a spade a spade.
So it was for you that you kind of felt like your body was...
I needed to, yeah, it was about me. It was about me having to go, you know what, Lorna, if you want to look amazing, you better start acting the part, you better start looking the part, you better start forming your body to be the part.
You were great as a principal ballerina and then you quit?
I didn't quit, I stopped. There's a difference, you know? People that quit, it's like you gave up. I didn't give up. I decided that I've had enough of this. I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to go into other bigger things. And
So you left ballet for the sake of leaving ballet, not because...
I retired.
So you retired.
I retired.
Okay,
yeah.
not because there was something else that was urgent, but it was.
No, it's
you
just,
felt
I
that
just
journey
felt like that was
done.
it. It was like, okay, I've done lead roles. It's great, but I felt like I had more to give to the world, and so I then decided to go out on my own.
And got into television. So you've been in the industry a while now.
Yeah.
Do you find it as fake and as fickle as everybody says it is?
I think when you know who you are and you know what you want to achieve in the industry, you're good. When you're trying to figure yourself out and you're trying to make friends with everybody, I think that's where it goes completely left. But I think if you know who you are, what you want to achieve, you can be real on your own.
When you become as famous as Lorna, you'll realize that you get invites faster than politicians drive to court. Sometimes you excite yourself at sporting events by finding out what other games people are playing. Watch very closely and learn why you don't need to be a sports person to be a player.
What do I think are the rules for a female player?
I don't play.
For the ladies today, there are no rules.
Is being comfortable with who you are and not being afraid to share it with the world.
There's no rules. There's no rules. I know. What sexism? What's this? What show is this?
Offside, when it comes to me playing the game.
And what game is this?
The offside is when you're trying to compare yourself to other people.
Do I even play the game? I'm not sure if I can even play the game.
What is the difference when a female hits on a guy? It's about damn time. We've been doing all the work.
Not that I've done it. You know what? I actually don't have a problem with that.
Well, I think these days, I don't think it really matters anymore.
If you see something, you likes it, you goes to it, and you tells it that you likes it.
The best pickup line I've heard from a woman.
Could you please take a picture of us and please send it? What's your WhatsApp number?
I like your cheeks. They remind me of peaches.
I think you look like Asha.
I've stopped picking up people a long, long time ago.
How does a scrub spot a successful woman?
OMG, I got out of my car, right? It's black, it's shiny, and it's got a brand name, like a powerful machine, right? And then I was going into the shop, and this guy followed me, and I literally think he wanted a blesser out of me, because he was like, don't you want to take me out? I was like,
Scrubs are like leeches. They always out there.
The handbag and the shoes really determine, that one is jackpot for a guy, yeah.
Ndiyaxolisa ke shame kwababhuti who thought they were the best players out there. Now, if you need to go grab a tissue and deal with them feelings, here's your chance. Coming up, we discover how far top billing took her. Then we find out just how tough it can be living life in the limelight, and we get tasty learning the tastes of SA celebrities. Real Goboza, Africa's gossip leader, is back with the stories that last longer than most people's resolution. We're going to continue where we left off with my heart-to-heart with a sweetheart.
Love you.
Here's a positive thing, top billing.
I know, yeah. Top billing came in 2010. I remember that date distinctly. I was sitting doing the World Cup, and we're busy charting on choreography and what we're going to do for the opening for the opening and closing ceremony of the FIFA World Cup. And we were sitting, and I remember getting a call from Michelle, and she was like, "Hey, are you available for a top billing shoot?" And I was like, "Is that a question? Like, that should be a statement." And I was like, "Of course." And I flew to Cape Town on this, I remember the day so distinctly, on the Seven Seas Voyager. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've arrived." Which I hadn't, of course. I had a lot to learn.
But you kind of, you're in that space, and it's glamorous.
It was amazing.
And you get swept up in it.
Absolutely. And I think, you know what, even being on the show, it still inspires me to want to work harder because of the people you meet and the houses you go to, and meeting some influential people. Yeah. I know, the houses are amazing.
And some of those weddings.
I know, the weddings
so
are amazing.
Opulent.
I know.
I would hate to be there when the bill comes.
I know, but we don't ask about the bill. We just go and have great champagne and enjoy our time there. It's beautiful. Like, honestly, and I know, like, top billing inspires a lot of people that watch it, but it inspires me. I don't know about the other presenters, but it inspires me.
So you started on Top Billing in 2010.
Yeah.
Was that the first audition? Did you crack it from the get-go?
No, I actually did the presenter search in 2007, the one before Simba.
The one before Simba.
The one no one actually remembers, which is so sad.
Woo,
but it was
okay.
it was a completely different kind of show. It was a different format. It wasn't even a show. It was like little inserts within the show itself. And sadly, I didn't make it. I made it to top 10 though, which was over 20,000 people. I think that's pretty dope.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback did they give you that you took to the next audition?
No, so what happened was, in that show, you had to send in like a little resume and a picture of yourself and why you thought you'd be a good top billing presenter. Then you went in and did the audition, the actual audition. And then the top 10 that they picked did like an insert. Like we presented a link, we did like a little story, we had a whole like revamp, and they cut my weave. I will not forget that.
You know.
And I was like, I just bought this weave and you'll just cut it.
And it's a lot of money.
I know, you're like, but you're just like, yeah, look great. You cut my weave. Yeah, and then the viewers had to vote in and say who they wanted to be the winner via SMS. So that's how the first top billing presenter search was.
Okay.
And sadly, I got in top 10, but I didn't win. But that's okay, because I'm still on the show, which is more of a positive than it is a negative that I didn't win at the time. Yeah.
I can imagine your passport has been exercising with all
I
the
know.
travel you do.
It's crazy, but now you can get a thick passport.
I got a maxi
Yeah, so you can
passport
get
also.
like one of those thick ones, you know.
I think it was Joanne Strauss who actually said that.
Right,
to me,
yeah.
because
So you get one of
you
those thicker
travel so
ones
much.
because you travel so much. It's
How
like,
many countries have you been to?
gosh, I don't know, a lot.
10,
More than
10
10.
to 20.
Probably about 15 or 16.
About 15, 10 to 20.
Probably
Which one-
20 actually.
Which one's your favorite?
My favorite definitely would be Hong Kong. I love Hong Kong. I love Singapore. I love those countries. I love Paris.
Paris. Everybody
Yeah,
loves
I
Paris.
love Paris. Paris is
The
really
city of
beautiful.
love.
I know, it's really, really gorgeous. Australia was okay. Like, I think like their border people are so rude. I don't know why. They even have a show to show you how much they don't want you in their country.
Like, what are you doing there?
Yeah, but I remember
Singapore-
actually that was my first top billing trip to Australia, and because I wasn't a seasoned traveler at the time, even though like I've traveled for so many years while I was a ballet dancer. Like I've been to Russia, to Austria, to Switzerland, but I'd never been. This was my first top billing trip, and I didn't look at the weather, and it was winter in Australia, and I packed shorts and like these little cute little things. And I learned very quickly that when you go to a certain country, you better check the weather,
Research,
honey.
do your
Because
research.
you will arrive there, it's summer, you bought winter clothes because in South Africa it's winter, or vice versa. So I've learned the hard way, but like now I'm a seasoned traveler. I know what to bring. I can pack in literally like a minute, like 30 seconds.
I wish I could say the same. Do you ever get starstruck when you interview people?
No.
Never? Is there
I think
someone-
you get overwhelmed. Do you know what I mean? Like I think if you get too overwhelmed, then you can't deliver your interview well. But it is like, I mean, when I interviewed, I can't remember his name.
Okay, describe him. I know the name.
He's the brother's dating Miley Cyrus.
Liam Hemsworth?
No, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris, okay, cool.
He was like, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. I was like, gosh, he's really hot. Like but I would just be like, bring it back together.
But that was
Lorna,
the
bring it back.
closest you got to
Yeah, I think so. Being like
fangirl mode.
completely, yeah, you know. But he was really hot.
What was the worst celebrity interview you've ever had?
I'm just gonna mention the name and then we're gonna leave it right there. I would definitely say it was Hugh Grant. That was my worst interview in the world, ever.
Okay, no, not Wolverine. Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, yeah.
Notting Hill.
Yeah.
Romantic comedies guy.
Yeah, that was my worst interview in
His
the world.
characters are usually such lovable guys.
He's not really nice anyway, but
But
then I went and they messed up that interview, so anyway, but we've had better interviews. Chris Hemsworth interview was really great. I've had some really lovely interviews, so we'll leave it at that.
If you look back at the old Top Billing
Yeah.
before you got there, who was your favorite presenter?
I'd say I loved Bassie because she just oozes class. I'd say I loved Michael Mole's wittiness. Like he's so
Michael
quick on
Mole.
his feet, you know. But he's like, yeah, he's got that. He's so witty, and he just gets it so right. It's not fake. It's not put on. Like he just gets it, and I love that. So those would be my two. Joanne is like, just absolutely classy, and just such a lady, and just also had it just perfectly. She was very good for the show.
Okay, Lorna, when
Yeah.
I introduced you, I told the people you're a good presenter.
Right.
I think it's time to cash that check.
Are you serious
I
right now?
want the top billing experience,
the whole walk and talk?
the talk and the this into the
Right.
next insert.
Let's give it a go. Let's give the people what they want. Now, taste is a lot like style because even though you may know what it is, it doesn't mean you have it. While celebs were at an exclusive dinner with Brian Nation and Middleton Whiskey, we decided to find out how tasty they think they are. Ooh.
When I see something, what makes me want to taste it?
Presentation, first and foremost. It's the color of it, it's the smell of it, if I can smell it.
Well, obviously, kind of the visual appeal.
When I taste something and it tastes bad in front of people.
I shoot from the hip. I probably will try and hide it.
I just try not to bash down the taste.
I can't hide it, so you'll see it in my face. I'll probably pull a face.
Fortunately, I have a relatively decent poker face.
The right thing, and I was taught at home, is to be polite and swallow.
The one taste that everybody loves that I hate, I can't stand avocado. I don't get it at all. It's bland and it's mushy, and I'm like, what's it all about?
Actually, chocolate. I'm really not crazy about chocolate.
Sour sweets. When I want to eat a sweet, I want to eat a sweet.
I'd say it's licorice.
Cabbage. I hate it. Sorry, mommy.
The one thing I love that everyone hates.
A papaya, a pawpaw.
Dark chocolate.
So which celebrities do I think would taste like chili?
I don't know.
Queen Bee.
Some is definitely phonic. Like lemon.
I'd associate that with DJ Smooth.
Interestingly, this is not gonna sound good. I think I shouldn't say.
Lemon. Some easy.
Anelem Tota. Kanyimbao.
Kumnandi xa utywala buveza ezanyani that usually get hidden behind polite lies. Well, now it's time for the opposite. Some lies that are hidden as truths as RGB takes a commercial break. After the break, we find out just how tough life can be in the limelight. Stay tuned. I'm sure bonus yakho seyiphelile ke kodwa the celebrity scoops will never run out on Africa's gossip leader, the real Kopoza. Sisahleli no Lorna Maseko. Sisi, let's talk about the industry now.
Right.
There's a lot of competition or perceived competition between what they call the it girls. Is it something that you see?
Why would you want to be called it, though, as a starting point, you know? I think they're definitely brilliant celebrities or celebrated people that are so good at what they do, and I think we need to embrace that they're good at what they do, and that's okay, you know. But I don't think, I always feel like, people are like, oh, I want a slice of the pie. I don't think it's a pie. I don't see it like that, you know. I see it as it's a river, and there's enough for everybody to have. Sometimes, it's low because there's no water and there's no rain, but there's always something to have when there's some reserves that you could have from somewhere else. So I don't think it's, I don't think there should be such competition. There's so many things that a person can do. I don't think it should be about cattiness, but if there is cattiness through people, shame.
There's gonna be a little bit of cattiness.
There is, I guess, because it's a competitive space. So,
it is.
Yeah.
Do you find it easy or not to be friends with people that you sometimes compete with for, let's say, roles or?
No, because why should I be? You know what I mean? I always believe that whatever's meant to be yours will always be yours. So you don't need to compete with somebody else for something. If it's not, think about it, top billing like a couple of years ago, I thought that was mine. I thought I was gonna win the competition. I didn't. Was I bitter? No. Was I upset? Was I depressed? Yeah, I'm human, you know what I mean? But I don't
it wasn't your turn.
It wasn't my turn. And it came at the right time. In 2010, I had some presenting, learnings from being on Afro Showbiz and The Weekender. And so I was a lot more refined, so to speak.
You were friends with Bonang a while ago.
Yeah.
But you guys don't seem to be
No, her and I speak not all the time, but there is no beef whatsoever.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I'll text her and go, I'm so proud of what you've done, and she'll do the same. So it's not...
Look, from the outside, we don't know what goes on in friendships. We just see our hashtag love lives here, and then we don't see it regularly. So we ought to,
but I don't think you should always publicize stuff. Like, if I think she's done something well, like I'll literally send her a text and go, I'm so proud of this campaign. You look so amazing, or whatever. And like when I'm doing cooking stuff, she'll do the same thing. So
and it doesn't have to be for show.
Because it's not a show. Because half of the time we're actually real people doing real things.
Let's go to cooking with Lorna and friends.
Yeah, I love that. It's like my little baby, you know. It's a cooking event essentially that I started in 2014, and it's basically a space where people can come learn how to cook. I teach something to cook, and then I teach. I bring in like a celebrity chef as well. We've had chefs from like Mexico, like Michelin star chefs, which has been absolutely amazing. I've just bought a franchise, Bread Basket, in Morningside at the Morningside Shopping Centre.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First of all, on that.
It's a big leap, but I'm really excited about getting into that franchise and learning about how restaurants work and the ideas to kind of have more restaurants.
What is Lorna's favorite meal to cook to bring the boys to the yard?
The boys like to come to the yard anyway. I think I love home cooked food, so I love doing I make an amazing lamb shank. I really do.
You kind of came onto the cooking space, took some people by surprise, if I can put it like that. Were there the kind of whispers of, what does she know about
I
food?
couldn't even care.
No.
I
couldn't even listen to any of that
no, I don't, because I've always been passionate about cooking. If you ask any of my friends, they'll tell you that I'm always hosting them over for dinner. I'm a bit of a show-off when it comes to the kitchen. I love kind of doing feasts and doing, you'll never come to my house and just be served chicken. You'll be served chicken, fish, and a red option of meat. But that's how I am. So whether they think, wow, when did she get to cooking? Well, you better know that I'm here now, so celebrate that.
She's here now.
You know what I mean?
All right, okay. So how do you find that balance of being in a space like in an entertainment industry that to a large extent relies on people's approval, your ratings, etc. for your show, and kind of not taking it personally when someone has something catchy to say?
I think at the end of the day, you need to realize that you'll never make everybody happy, but there's a good percentage of 80% of the people that love you, that follow you, are happy about what you do. And you need to celebrate those people and do what kind of make them happy. The rest of the 20%, touche, life's too short.
They'll find something
They will complain and they'll bully you on Twitter.
What's next in the new year?
So obviously I'm working on a cooking show, which I'm really excited about. Obviously the restaurant is like a big thing. We'll continue to have Cooking with Lorna and Friends, and continue in other business spheres. So I'm a shareholder of a company that supplies radiators for mines. So I'm trying to push the boundaries always. I'm an entrepreneur at heart and an entertainer in my soul. So, I'm going to continue to do things that I love.
Lorna, thank you so much for coming to hang out
pleasure.
with the Real Couples. I know your time is very precious.
It's money, honey.
Of course it is.
Time is money.
But you chose to be here
Absolutely.
to spend this evening. And I do hope our viewers actually got a little glimpse
I hope.
into the fabulous life.
I hope.
That is Miss
just a
Lorna.
tad.
Ngelishwa ke kufuneka siqukumbele namhlanje to go and find more of the stories that are going to make 2017 a year to remember. Uba unaso ke wena story okanye kwinto ihletyezelwe ngomnye umuntu, you've got us on Twitter, on Instagram at officialRGB, or you can go to Facebook at official Real Kopoza. If that doesn't work, take a slide into the DMs. I am at Sinazo Yolwa. Fat Joe is at the Real Fat Joe. And from everybody here, good night.